Welcome to the Missouri Woods and Water Podcast. I'm your host, Nate Thomas, hopping on to do some real quick housekeeping. This week's episode didn't necessarily go the way we initially thought it was, so it changed a little bit. So we sat down to do our elk trip recap with the boys, and we ended up talking for like damn near 3 hours. So what you're going to hear is this week, we broke the show up into two parts. So this week you're going to hear the elk trip recap for Colorado, and then next week you're going to hear the recap for New Mexico. So that way, you know, it's not a 3-hour show. So we're going to break it up into two parts. So you're going to hear kind of the show in abruptly from Colorado into New Mexico, and you know, this week and next week you're going to hear, you know, a lot of similar things because we recorded them the same night together, all in Andy's basement. So just wanted to hop on and give you some housekeeping real quick. Sponsors are already in the show for this week, so I'm not going to do that right now. So I just wanted to give that bit of information to you all, and hope you enjoy the elk trip recaps. Hope you enjoy listening to it as much as we did recording it. This is the Missouri Woods and Water Podcast.
Welcome to the Missouri Woods and Water Podcast with your host, Nate, Andy, myself, Micah. And then we got the boys that made it out west. We got Patrick, Garin, and Russell back with us to do a little elk season recap.
Not all the boys, but...
Not all of them, but, you know, the ones that matter.
Whoa.
I'm just kidding.
Whoa, don't talk about Brandon that way. Andy's got his balls of meat that he's eating right now.
Yeah, he'll join us here in a minute. Nate couldn't wait the extra 3 minutes for him to finish his dinner.
My bad.
I mean, he's usually got ball. Never mind.
No, go for it.
Say what you gotta say.
Okay, you usually
Say
keep
what
balls
you
in
say with your chest.
We're going to do elk trip recap. We got 2 trips in today's show. There was success in the group. So that's
Spoiler
nice.
alert.
Well, yeah, they're going to want to stick around because the first part's going to be depressing.
No, it's pretty par for course, honestly.
Say, if you listen to our other elk recaps, you've heard this one.
Yeah.
Pretty typical.
So if you fast forward the first 7 minutes or so, you know, maybe get to something a little more interesting.
You think it's
we had
take
fun.
7 minutes
It was a good
to get through?
good trip.
I don't know.
I doubt it.
When
have we ever
sponsors,
done
and then
anything?
we can get through
When
it.
have we ever done anything quickly?
What? Never mind.
Or on track? What? No, say what you got to say.
Not what your wife said.
Ew, that's your cousin.
You have 90 kids, so I mean, I'm sure people know.
That's how I roll. I've got that taken care of a little too late. Just a couple years too late.
Oh, I was about to say, well, wait a minute. Congratulations.
Oh, God. Gosh. That would suck.
That'd be one.
That's what he said. I got to take that a little too late.
Yeah.
I was about to tell me something.
Bennett, you are a blessing. Daddy loves you.
Little fucker. I mean,
He is a little shit, I hear.
He's cool.
He's cool.
you want to run through sponsors and then get to it?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's start with, crap. Let's see. This will be 31, I think. Let's start with Black Ovis, and there's a reason.
Yeah.
Black Ovis, use our blackovis.com. Andy, why don't you talk about it?
Our giveaway?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Cool.
biggest giveaway we've done so far. 2,000 total.
Yep.
$1,500 worth of Black Ovis gear. That'll be sent to you in your size.
Or
I'm
the
assuming-
size that you select.
That you select, right? Sure.
I'm pretty sure, I mean, is it $1,500 of whatever you want to pick in Black Ovis
Yeah.
gear, or are they picking it out for you?
Yeah, no, whatever you want to pick. And
Yeah,
so
so-
that's the point. Like, you could probably hook yourself up and
if you have a spouse that hunts
buddy
or
or-
a kid or
because $1,500 is going to get you a lot of gear.
And I will tell you, I know we just got some of their new stuff. That new hoodie, that's really the only thing I've honestly, because we had 2 cooler days here this week.
Yeah.
I wore that hoodie they sent, that like half zip hoodie.
Yeah.
Quarter zip.
That pretty sure it's half zip, but
Whatever.
we'll talk about fractions later. It's honestly instantly probably my favorite hoodie I have now.
Yeah. It's comfy.
And it's a solid color hoodie, so I've wore it out, just out and about on the town.
Yep.
But and then $500 of your choice to spend at Black Ovis on any gear
anything
that
on the
carry.
website. I need to check with Craig because I can't remember, and I think you can use discount code with that.
Oh, on top of it.
But I'm not sure. I need to check with Craig, so don't quote me on that. But
That'd be. I'm gonna say I doubt it because that'd be pretty damn sweet.
that would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's cool.
And you can enter how?
I haven't entered.
Well, I don't think
we can.
qualify to win,
No,
sir.
you follow the link.
Yeah,
and
go
fill out the
Jesus.
email.
Follow the link. What link?
On our post, there's a link. You follow that link on our post.
Yeah. Or if you're listening to this and you want to do it now, blackovis.com/sweepstakes. And it'll take you right there. You put in your name and your email. Or you can go to our website, MissouriWoodsandWater.com. Go to our partners tab. Click the link under Black Ovis. It's also linked right on our Instagram. And not on Facebook because I don't know how to do that. So I didn't do it on Facebook. And it's simple. That's all you got to do to enter. Russell's already entered. I know that.
Yeah, I don't have Facebook, Instagram, none of that shit.
Yeah, so you don't have to have it.
It's that easy.
You don't have to have it. You
Yeah.
two entered yet?
I did.
Yeah.
Damn right.
I mean, I figure I probably shouldn't enter since it's our giveaway.
No, we are not qualified,
Yeah.
but our friends can qualify. I mean,
Did that go how you thought it was? Because you're trying to put me on the spot right now. You didn't
what?
think I've been paying attention.
I honestly didn't know if you were going to get through it.
I thought he was going to be like, we're doing a giveaway.
Yeah, you two fuckers thought I was just, fuck off, guys. I shared it.
You've got a stomach full of balls right now. Meatballs. But that's our giveaway. And then if you don't win, you can use our code MWW10 to save 10% off at the website anyways on their awesome gear. I ruined one of my pairs of Cottonwood Creek pants or shorts last week.
Shit them.
I wish I ripped them.
You could
I
clean
ripped
the
him. I
shit.
caught him on a piece of barbed wire, showing Chase how to do something out at the fence, and I caught
Definitely
him.
not how to cross a
ripped
fence.
him.
I mean, that's not what you're showing him. But
God, no, because Russell knows I would fall across that fence.
Why don't you just go under?
I could have.
yeah.
So check out Black Ovis, sister company, Camofire. Download the app. Do you get on it in the mornings when you're pooping?
Every morning.
Every morning. See, Pat and I are same.
I have an addiction.
Of
Yeah,
what?
you're like probably one of Black Ovis's and
Camofire's
favorite
best
people.
customer sitting
Yeah,
right
they
here.
love you.
That's right. That's
Hey,
why
Pat's on again, guys.
That's why I need to win this.
Pat's on the internet.
Win this giveaway. Get some money back.
His wife is like, "What is Camofire and how do I get off his phone?"
It's an easy app to use now too. That's the worst part.
Best
For
part.
those wives out there, those spouses out there. I don't want to be sexist. Reveal cameras by Tactacam. I've got one outside right now that I've got to send back to him. It's got a broken lens,
Oh,
and I don't want to walk out there, and so I called you see if I could take the side by side, and it's still not home.
I have not recovered it from our elk hunting trip.
How long
yet.
have y'all been back from the elk trip?
I know Russell's going to start charging me rent for the side by side.
2 weeks.
At least two.
2 full weeks.
2 full weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad.
To be fair, the trailer that I used to haul that has been sitting for when we were gone. Got filled full of scrap metal, and they were not able to empty that trailer until yesterday. So the trailer just became available yesterday.
Gotcha.
But I mean, I could have found another route to do it. It's an excuse.
If I was a good cousin, I would have done it for you tonight, but
Yeah,
I didn't.
you would have, but you didn't.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Who else, Micah? Lucky Buck?
Lucky Buck Mineral. I put out, I need to get some more actually, but I put out some the other day. I think they hit it 30 minutes after I left.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't done it in a few weeks.
I do like doing that, seeing how fast I've timed it. I've had like 20 minutes before.
Yeah.
I mean, it's quick.
Yeah. No, they love the stuff.
It might be a doe, but
Oh no, I mean
it's
still
usually
something.
Do you see the day after you put it out? Like literally the day you put it, if you go put it out, like say at noon, I feel like that night I'll have a buck. Like it's usually pretty quick after I refresh it.
You gotta have.
We've
bucks
got a mineral
for the-
site. me and Russell have a mineral site where we hunt together that is new when did we start that mineral site? Last year or the year before?
2 years.
So the first year we used it, we did not have Lucky Buck. It was just the concoction we made. Last year we had Lucky Buck, and this year we have Lucky Buck, and the hole is so deep now that it fills up with water. Like it's a pond right now because it's been raining.
That's how you get CWD.
They have just been hammering it.
Well, we'll be lucky if
Can
we
you do it in your county?
No, it's now a CWD county.
Boo.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
You're next.
Oh, yeah. It'll
Ray
come.
County's.
Ray and Celine both.
Yeah.
Now you're screwed.
We're going to be talking about some CWD coming up.
Yeah, next week, is it? Or 2
What's
weeks?
and that's so crazy to me because we talked about it a little bit after they tested last year.
Yeah.
It was such a small fraction of deer that got checked in that tested for it.
Yeah.
Like 1%, something stupid.
I don't even know it's that.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a
Did you
whole
see
rabbit
Mike
hole we can go
Hunsucker
down.
from Heartland? His post the other day, one of his target buck died from EHD.
dude.
A lot of deer, I think, have it.
Yeah, my friends up north, man. One of them, I think he found 5 different bucks, and he said he said he got up to a high spot that kind of looks over, thousands of acres. You can see a lot, and he said the vultures are just insane. Just they're circling everywhere, so there's just all kinds of dead deer.
Yeah, that ain't good.
Down there by the river or creek, whatever you want to call it.
Because they go to water with
Yeah,
that,
they
right?
always go
Which
to
is
water.
weird because, spring started off so wet.
Bryce has been sending
And then-
snaps of them dead
Well,
all the
that's-
time.
I thought EHD was more of a drought thing.
It
Well, but
is.
It
But
is,
it
but they
didn't-
go to water when they die.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Yeah, they get a fever and they
But-
get hot.
Right.
It was wet this spring, but then what did it, July
causes
hit,
EHD?
and it didn't rain for freaking
flies, I think.
flies.
Fly, that's what I was thinking. Is a tick
It's a
or a
midge.
fly? Or,
Yeah,
it's a
midge,
midge,
yeah.
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 but we haven't had rain here for how long, Andy?
We should get
4
somebody
weeks.
on and talk
Well,
about
well,
EHD.
before this last-
before
yeah.
this last one, at least a
I think
month.
we need EHD, the deer diseases.
Yeah.
Yeah, crabs is.
I'm pretty sure we
So-
can't get anybody to talk about CWD as far as
mythical.
so far
From
as
agencies?
agencies.
Yeah.
We'll have to get like a
I would like to. We
Different
probably should
party
put some fillers out. I'd
biologist.
like to see the thought process behind some of the decisions, and
Yeah.
I don't know that we will. Yeah, you're right. If we're not doing a show that's like a gotcha show, like we're just asking for information,
Maybe we have to agree to.
right? But we're doing one, or Micah's got one lined up in a couple weeks.
Yep.
From a landowner's perspective, who is in a CWD zone, that's been in one for years.
since it first started. I think he was one of the first counties.
Yeah. So,
So
we're gonna do. Well, he's for sure gonna do it. I don't know if I can or can't go, or you.
it's going to be a shit show, just so you know.
That's
It'll
okay.
be a good time.
That's why you're doing it. That was Lucky Buck Mineral on X. You guys used the shit out of it, I'm guessing, over the last
Daily.
during the trip.
Daily.
Did you download your? Did you guys have to download your maps offline, or did you have service?
We didn't have service
That's right,
for
you-
3 hours before we got there.
Really?
Oh, really?
So did
Yeah.
you download before you left? To
Oh,
make,
yeah.
That's good. Get them offline maps.
I think my dad's. I've remembered to download it literally as we were leaving the town.
That's
To go
usually
up
what
and
I
down.
do. I always make sure I was on it, and I always get on my offline maps and then go into, airplane mode or whatever,
Which surprises me once
just
again.
so I know I got them.
Because I get a text from Brandon from his InReach day 2. Andy's InReach isn't working. I thought you paid.
I didn't
No,
listen
I
to
did the
instructions.
yearly thing. I thought he was gonna go do it,
I did not listen to instructions.
so I had to go
Speaking
do it
of
for
that-
him. What?
I owe you for those things.
Yeah, that's all right. And I gotta go cancel that before they charge another month.
Yeah.
But that's Onyx, Athlon Optics, athlonoptics.com. Find a dealer near you. I would like to do a show with them soon, since rifle season's right around the corner. Midwest Gunworks. Use our code the 5 off MWW for 5% off. Ammo.
I don't know if
Might
it
need
works on
some of that.
ammo.
It works on everything on the site,
Does it?
I think.
I'm hopefully going to be getting a new rifle, so I'm going to be. I think I'm going to go Midas tack with it on the rifle side, on
Yeah.
the scope side.
Yep.
That's my favorite.
Not
That
a bad
idea.
idea.
I mean,
For-
for the price and the what it is.
The quality, yeah.
What rifle are you going with?
243.
Okay.
Yeah.
I figured that was what was.
Ruger American Gen 2. Done decided.
Gen 2.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Where are you getting it from?
LeBeau Armory.
Obviously.
Darrell. Smelled like Daryl, but pronounced Darrell.
Yeah. He's got it in the wish list. Everybody's out of stock on them right now, so as soon as they come in.
Nice.
I know Austin's been trying to get a hold of the 6 Creed, which they were supposed to have put in production.
Yeah,
but he has called Ruger and got a hold of people there like, it was on the list, but we have actually not produced any. So
Pumping out the major popular calibers first.
Yeah. I know the 243s out there. I've seen people
243s.
I've seen people post about them. I mean, they're stacking dimes, man.
Really?
I mean, yeah.
I'm
super
interested.
accurate.
I'd be curious. Me and Pat seen one at that place we stopped at when we were coming back from Arkansas. There was one there that
shit on the wall.
was place all crazy shenanigans.
Was that the place that had like just
Guns out the
guns
wazoo.
chilling?
Just
Guns
like,
forever and free
It had
beer.
a beer cooler. You walked in and
cooler?
said take or free as long as you were looking. So you walked in and grabbed a beer and just browsed the
very
guns. And
nice.
all the guns, like they're not behind a counter. You walk up, just pick them up. You can actually hold.
Would love to
handle.
see someone to try to walk out with one of those.
They get shot for sure.
50 guns get pulled
I
off.
guarantee you every employee probably had a pistol on their
Oh,
side.
100%.
They're all carrying.
And someone apparently did try to steal from him. They had a like billboard-sized poster in the parking lot and inside with this dude's face on it, and it literally said, "You piece of shit!" And like, you tried to steal from us. That's stealing from families. That's stealing from like. They just like blasted this
Dang.
guy.
Seem like my kind of people.
That's what he gets.
That was Midwest Gunworks, just so you know. And then last, Morrell Targets. Definitely need to get that going. I got to get the boys' crossbow figured out.
Yeah, we did real good remembering to bring a Morrell target.
You
with
forgot,
us.
didn't you?
All 4 of us made it out there without a target.
Oh, God. So what did you do when you got there?
Didn't shoot. That's what they did.
Shit.
I had
Pray and pray.
Cross our fingers and wish us the
Get the big
best of
roller.
luck.
I've never gone out there and my bow actually been off.
I haven't
I
either.
mean,
But-
you always want to shoot. I mean, usually
The grouse.
every other time we've always taken one.
the grouse that I missed, it was on.
It was on.
But that's the sponsors. Thanks to all them. Make sure you go enter in the giveaway and follow us on the social media stuffs.
5-star review would be cool.
Yeah. And if you don't want to give us a 5-star, don't give us one.
Piss off.
Don't chew, big cred.
I was just thinking the same thing. All right, so do we want to start with Colorado?
Yeah, let's get Colorado out of the way because I feel like they got more stories.
Colorado's always got stories.
How was the trip out there? How'd the truck do? Took a new truck this year.
I thought the truck did pretty good.
Got the new 6.6 10-speed.
It did every good, if not better, than what I expected it to do, truthfully.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we were underpowered by any means.
No, just at the top of that peak.
You knew gas mileage wasn't going to be good anyways.
Round trip 7.1.
Yeah, but the diesels were only getting like
They
12
were getting
tops.
No, they weren't. Getting, they were getting 9.
No,
we were
Dad's
getting 8 or 9. last
9
year.
yeah.
is what he got the last
I
time
was
we
kind
took
of
that new
I was
one.
kind of remember my OBZ. I think it got like 10.5, something like that.
Because it really surprised me.
Yeah.
Because, the Dad's old truck, old
The
Duramax,
yeah.
used to get 11.
right.
His new one got 9, which,
I think it just had to do with the trailer, honestly.
and that easily
It
could
could,
be.
yeah.
Because we had different trailers. The front end of the truck was lifted up a lot more, catching a lot more wind, and
True.
yeah. So it has something to do with it. A little harder to tow.
Yeah,
So-
that's a very good point.
But so 7. I mean, that ain't bad. You know,
I mean, is what it is.
Do you remember
Right.
what the dually that went that one year, what it got?
No.
I'm curious.
When it
It didn't get
down the
It didn't get
fucking
much
highway.
over 9.
Really?
Yeah, no.
I got 14.1
Did you?
Did y'all
Because,
take a
well, you
trailer?
have, I mean, yours is how old?
and 11.
An 11, so that would have been, I mean, because mine's a 15. Dad's is what?
Did you
the
pull
23?
anything?
14-foot enclosed trailer.
So maybe the enclosed trailer is the ticket because we're pulling the open trailer.
right? Bumper
Yeah,
pull.
Bumper pull.
But we couldn't. I mean, we'd have to have a huge ass enclosed
Oh, yeah.
for
Right.
what all y'all take.
Well, what was funny talking about the truck and trailer, and so as Russell was kind of getting us out of the trailhead, there was a 3,500, a 1-ton GMC, brand spanking new. I mean, that thing was nice. Then there was a 3/4 ton Chevy, both of them pulling like probably an 18-foot and a 14-foot enclosed trailer. They had 4 people just like we did, I'm pretty sure. They had 2 side-by-sides. We had 2 side-by-sides, a 4-wheeler, 4 people, all of our shit on this 24-foot trailer being pulled by a gas, pickup. So we start pulling out of the trailhead, and all 4 of them just kind of stop, turn around, and go, holy shit. Look at that
The
rig.
Clampets are in town.
No, like they were like, damn, like that's a trade. Like they were impressed that we pulled that out there. Like,
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of spoke to a little bit of what.
Well, Russell did his research on the truck he was buying. I mean, you waited how long for that to come out?
I waited for mine to get stolen first.
He had it picked out. Then he placed his truck in a strategic location.
The hood.
It was either that or a Ford with a 7.3.
Yeah.
One of those two.
Right.
But
That's what we run in our trucks.
What do they call that? The Godzilla or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
one of those.
That's
two
a gas.
trucks.
That's a gas truck.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. It's got, I think, 29 more horses.
But about the same torque, wasn't it?
Yeah, torque. Yeah, it's about the same.
Yeah, they say the 7.3 is equivalent to the 6.7 diesel as far as horsepower and torque.
I mean,
Supposedly. I don't know.
we did pretty good coming up the steepest pass. I mean, it would have held 54 going all the way up until a semi
Yeah.
pulled in front of us, and then we lost all of our momentum. But then we lifted and shifted, and I think we were like 41 miles an hour.
Well,
we got.
Didn't we pass that Dodge pulling the?
Yeah, another diesel.
Yeah. Russell like, I think I can pass him. Like, let's do it. Like we're going uphill. It was smoking the shit out of the other.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, this was the first year in at least 3 years that we didn't have truck issues.
Nope.
Or y'all didn't have
We
truck
didn't have
issues.
no truck, no
Oh.
trailer.
Because the year
Doing
before
well.
we had truck let's
Side
see.
by side.
It was tire problems the year before.
Blew out
wasn't it?
3 tires on the
yeah,
camper one year.
The year before that, my truck had it got hot.
Year
coming
before that,
back.
mine went into limp mode.
Or was that the same year?
Could have been.
No, that was different.
Different
No,
years.
that was the same year because I went back out.
Because we went back
Yeah,
out.
you came
and then
back
you
out
went
with
to limp
me
mode.
because I didn't go when yours overheated. I wasn't with you guys.
That's what I thought.
So same year, COVID year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still took your truck, though. I
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah.
Well, because my
did,
shit
yeah.
was packed at the door, and
Right.
then that's when COVID was like just pretty new, and my daughter ended up catching COVID, and we weren't going to test her, just kids getting tested and stuff. But with me supposed to leave literally the next day, like man. So we went ahead, got her tested, and she tested positive. Well, at that time, you weren't like that was a no. You didn't go.
It was forbidden.
Right.
Fauci says.
So we.
We still went. Me and Nate did.
I mean, shit, it was hooked up, ready to go. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys got out there safe.
Yeah.
Y'all went and camped up on the mountain this year again, right? And not down where normally we would have like a base camp. Prior years when Albert was with us, we had a bigger group. Last year, you guys, well, not you guys, me and Russell were in Wyoming. You
We
guys
made the decision. Yeah, we
made
went
the
ahead
decision
and
to go up.
took the side by sides and packed camp onto it, and we can go. I'd like to tell you it's how many miles it is. I don't know, maybe 3 miles back in there.
But it takes
2 or
2
3.
hours.
No, a little over an hour.
It takes
one
about an
way.
hour
One
pulling
way.
a trailer,
Yeah.
I think, because Russell took a trailer out, which really helped this year.
Oh, did you? Did it hold up well?
Oh, that thing did good.
Do way better than last year's trailer.
Yeah, my plastic one last year snapped
saw
in half
pictures.
halfway up. Yeah, and then Russell's did very well. He did it right.
Nice.
Yeah, we went up and camped up top, and actually,
Did you just have to make one trip?
one trip with the trailer. We made 2.
I came
going
down
up.
empty once.
Did you? So we had 2 trips going up, and we did a trip and a half. We did without the trailer coming back down.
Nice. So you camped up there. So when you guys first got there,
How the trailhead
like,
looked.
yeah, what, like, did you all like, oh shit?
It was-
or
Well, sorry, go ahead, Russell.
Go ahead.
We came in a different way that I've never come.
y'all did?
Yeah, we went to the next town that we normally don't go to, and then came south out of it instead of looping around back.
So you like passed by where we used to make phone calls up the top of the hill. Came that way.
So coming through there, you could tell that there's quite a few campers. Like all the normal campsites were taken. Like they were all full. So I kind of got a little nervous just seeing that. But then we pulled into the trailhead, and there was a decent amount, but not like overloaded. So
Not like that last year, though, when there was literally nobody but
Last
the
year.
workers.
yeah, last year's nobody but some Forest Service workers there.
Yeah.
See, it makes you obviously.
Like why?
We know the end result. We know you guys will tell it in a second. But what's the difference? Last year, was the first year that unit was a draw unit. you guys had a pretty good year from a turnout standpoint, and then this year, the cat's out. I mean, it was busy on you guys as far as number of hunters out there. What changed? You know what I'm saying? It just makes you wonder, because it's not all of a sudden a better unit. You didn't all of a sudden have a success rate go from like 10% to 30%. That didn't
wondering
happen.
if people just thought, well, last year, first year draw, we'll give it another year, and then hey, we'll hit it then,
maybe
or something.
I don't know.
Because there was half, like last year, there was like close to 1,000 leftover tags. I remember right, it was like 800 or something like that. And this year there was, I think, 400. So,
and there's over 2,000 tags total.
Yeah,
for
that unit.
So I don't know what Russell's opinion, but my theory a little bit, there was definitely some out-of-staters for sure.
Right. Well, and I think a lot of it has to do with everybody knows that, hey, if we're going to do this over-the-counter stuff, we got to do it now because they're getting rid of them all next year, right? Isn't it all?
I believe so.
Ain't it all going?
I think next year everything's draw.
Yeah, and next year everything is draw. So
for the next 5 years.
For the next 5 years?
Yeah.
I would assume it's probably
5-year increments.
I would assume they're just it's gonna just be that way for good now. I don't know.
They have to revote in 5 years.
Really?
The problem is the hunting got worse.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean,
so the first year I thought it was better, and then last year, like, are you talking about hunting in our area? But
yeah.
What I seen, and I think part of it is so if I'm not mistaken, more and more going over the draw, but that's draw for residents too, correct?
No, that was a non-resident only thing.
No, okay. So my theory might be busted, but talking to I think a couple of the residents, the Colorado residents stopped by. He lived. So our tag is a 3-unit tag.
Yeah.
He lived in one unit. He said it's basically a residential unit. Then it's either a town or it's private land. There's no public land really in that unit. Very small percentage. The next one over, yeah, there's public land, but the elk really aren't there. It's not really good hunting. So for those 3 units, your hunting is all in the unit we're in.
Yeah.
And there's 3 decent sized towns around. So
we're surrounded by
that. So all of your residents, I think, are going to take advantage of that area.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it's an easy to get to, easy access place for non-residents to go if they did their research.
Right.
Not to mention when we first got there, it was like I-70 Speedway. We got there on Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, and we ran into that in the past. People just hit the trails riding.
It's a good trail. I'm not going to deny that. I mean, it's public land.
It's fun.
Yeah, but it was just
you're
one
not supposed to drive your
side by
side-by-sides through the national park.
What happened was?
What had happened was we weren't going the other way.
We didn't have gas.
Did we ever tell that story?
I don't remember if we did or not. I mean, I'm sure we did. It was raining.
Statutes
we were low on fuel.
I mean, it ain't like they're coming. I doubt they come after us. I don't know.
Who went first is all I want to know. Was it you?
I didn't go first. I went last.
Who was the first? I was last.
We were last because we were behind you slow post.
We were the fastest. So.
Andy said send it.
Yeah.
I mean, mine was not the fastest. Russell's was definitely. Well, no, Nate's was.
We were that's why we went last.
I was in the
back. You were right in front of us.
Okay, anyway, to let the listeners know, if you haven't heard this story, so
this is like 4 years ago.
It was our last day of the hunt. We were up what we call the top, so like the middle of where we would.
It's an hour and a half in one direction. I timed it this year when we left. An hour and a half in one direction to get to where we park.
Right.
Yeah, and we had not fueled up our side-by-sides or ATV
because it was like last day.
It was like last day.
Yeah, we were done. Well, anyways, we hunt, whatever. We get done, and we're like, let's go check out this.
Never been, it's a different place. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so we went further, and we didn't know this, but it ended up going through a national park.
Was it a national? What was it?
It's a reservoir.
It's not a national
reservoir.
park.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
I don't know.
It was a camp.
Probably
it was camping.
Anyways,
it was camping.
We were not allowed to be.
There's
in
a sign that says no ATV.
The sign showed a gravel, the map showed it was like a gravel road.
Yeah.
But the gravel was like these freaking boulders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
most craziest road I've ever been on.
So then when you get there, it's like, oh, it should get better. Well, then you get to the nice part.
It's pavement for like 2 miles.
It's pavement, but there's a big sign that says no OHVs. No, like, it had a picture of a freaking 4-wheeler.
4-wheeler, side-by-sides, dirt bikes. Yeah, we're like, well, we're already here. We've been on. It was probably 3 hours by the time we got there. So we're 3 hours away from where we camp.
If we turn around, we're not sure we have enough fuel.
Yeah, we were low on gas. It was raining on us. We're like, screw it.
All we got to do is get across this bridge.
Yeah. There's a bridge.
There's a guard shack. And we're like, if we could just not stop, we get by there.
We noticed there wasn't a car parked around the guard shack.
There wasn't. We're like,
There wasn't a car, but there was definitely a guy.
There was a dude in there.
There was a guy in there.
We get by that. We just drive by like we know what we're doing.
No,
we don't just drive.
wide
We were hammered
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
There are people just walking their dogs around this reservoir. Just
sounded-
like, look at these jackasses
Dude,
over
there's
here.
a guy pulling a camper coming across the bridge, just holding his hands up like, what the f are you doing? Like, and it sounded like Daytona 500. I guarantee you it sounded like guard shack. Just
there's four of us. Zoom, zoom, zoom through.
And then finally we get on a major road. Like
Not a major road, but it's like a
we
state
met
highway.
oil tankers.
yes, state highway.
It was a numbered state highway.
And then it started pouring rain.
Oh yeah, pouring down rain. It sucked.
Russell had no windshield.
Nope.
I saw.
Well,
two
neither
of the,
did we technically.
Saw two of the biggest mule deer I've ever
But
seen
we had a
in my
roof at
life. Right off the side of the road.
Yeah.
I mean, and we just hauled ass pretty much back. We didn't
The
get
whole
back till
time.
late.
We were the last ATV, and so the whole time, of course,
and we could go the fastest. Like
the whole time, I'm looking back, like,
People were sitting around campfires
if a cop
looking like
gets behind us, do we just let the other guys get pulled over? We just leave them in the dust. Because the two pioneers were going to be the ones that were going to get left behind.
Yeah, because I'm like capped out at like maybe out there. Here I can get to like 38. Up there it's like maybe 32,
35,
33.
Well, you could hit 40.
And so my dad's
Downhill.
Mine does not like to go that fast out there, which is probably why I blew the motor in it 2 years later. But
Yeah.
anyway,
It was a great adventure.
Put your microphone condom back on.
let's like I guess get back onto our trip. So we went out there. Monday was opening day. Russell, you kind of tracked to your normal spot that you hit up. You've had good luck there.
I knew it.
I had to go back.
I would have bet. I would have bet that you were.
I
gonna
would.
go
I mean,
to,
shit. You
I mean, there's
that's
sign,
my favorite mountainside.
there's sign in there, but we get up there. There's hunters at the bottom.
Oh gosh, like you saw them or they were camping.
So Texas,
Yeah,
pretty sure those guys were
same spot.
same spot in timber. Get up in there and we go to. There's a pretty big pond in there
always Texas.
that we always kind of walk up. That trail goes beside.
Uh huh.
We get up in there and we hear this.
At the top. Those big ponds.
It's pretty close to that.
Yeah. Okay.
Get up in there and we start crunching stuff and we hear something moving in the bushes next to this pond. So we think it's maybe a bull wallow, and so we do a little cow call, and all of a sudden we hear this oof, 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 and growling and carrying on like, well, son of a bitch, we got bears right here. So
Did anybody buy a bear tag?
no.
Dang it.
So we bail out of there and go somewhere where we know there's not bears.
Not bears.
Because that's the same mountainside Brandon was face to face with one last year. Wasn't
That
it?
was
Or 2 years
probably
ago.
a quarter mile from that.
Oh, yeah.
If that. So now we get up in there and there's no sign, no fresh poop,
Damn,
nothing. We
that
get up in
sucks.
there and we see two other hunters, and they're, they see us and they turn around and walk away. They don't even fucking wave. Just
I would say that, truthfully, besides the couple people who stopped by camp, the rudest hunters we've experienced.
And we normally haven't had that. Like out there, it's
Like,
normally been pretty cool.
not even acknowledge that you're there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
They just look at you and then they turn around and walk away. Like
Yeah.
not even wave, not.
yeah. The stories you guys told us already that we'll hear more. That surprises me because like Texas boys, Heston and Fritz, a couple years ago, I met them at the base of that same mountain, and we talked about where we were going to go, and then we even walked up the trail that I knew together before we broke off. Cool guys. We met Will Judson that year. But I think you guys saw again, if I'm not mistaken.
Will actually we was seeing him as we were setting up camp.
Fucker killed a bull.
Yeah,
Good for Will.
Good for him. Congrats. And then like the Florida guys or whatever that were looking for that bull, like everybody was cool that year. Last year in Wyoming, you and I didn't have no issues.
I would bet you a nickel that they're locals.
Hmm.
Straight dicks.
Well, I mean I mean, that whole state's gone to shit, in my opinion. We vacationed there over the summertime, and the state's beautiful, but everything else is shit. Absolute shit.
You want to know something about Colorado that threw me off? So we were in Colorado before our vacation doing our my daughter's softball tournament.
Yeah.
We get there, we get to our Airbnb, and my wife's like, "Hey, I ordered Walmart. Go pick it up." I'm like, "All right." So I leave, go pick it up, go in there. What's that called? Where they bring it out to you?
Pickup line or
Pickup,
whatever.
whatever. And they bring this cart out full of food and no bags. And they just start like putting it in the back of my car. I'm like, "Where's the bags?"
Oh, yeah, the grocery
Like,
store.
pay
"Oh,
extra
those are extra. You have to pay 10 cents a bag." I'm like,
Wow.
"So you're just going to throw all this shit in the back?" And they're like, "Yeah, you got to bring your own bag or whatnot." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
The whole state's like that.
okay. Learn something new every day."
Well, and I get it. That's fine. But
Fucking hippies.
It's a super liberal state, man. Let's call a spade a spade. You know, it's just terrible, man. I hate it. But it is what it is. It's
So
all
anyway,
shit.
you guys, so that mountain was beat up and there was no
Yeah.
sign.
Somebody said there was somebody camping in there. So at the elevation where there should be elk, should be bedded elk,
There's people camping.
there's people with a fucking campsite in there. It's like, what do you guys expect?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
we
been-
ran into that before.
the
So,
wind's blowing through there and just
Yeah.
sucking thermals up and down. But so you guys went there. We went to the spot I normally go to. And I'll have to admit, I don't know if I'm right, wrong. I did what I did. I don't regret it. But it's me and my dad. You guys are aware there's one where we go to. It's up like a big tabletop, and it sucks to get to.
It's the gnarliest
It's a horrible half hour.
motherfucker.
It
Yeah.
sucks to get to.
Yeah.
We found a ridge that you can kind of walk and makes it a little less sucky. That's the only spot I know of how to get up there.
Yeah.
Reasonable, especially for my 68-year-old father
Right.
with two bad knees. So we pull up, and
But one giant heart.
as we were coming down to cross the creek to get there, there's two four-wheelers coming down the other trail from the other direction. So I might have shifted a couple times, and I made sure I beat
'em.
them to that trailhead. And I kind of hammered down after that, and they didn't really keep up very well, which is fine. But we get to where I'm about to park, where we park
Every other time.
every
Other
time.
times, yeah.
And I look up, and there's like string lights hung in the trees. I'm like, God damn it, there's a camp right here. And it's
Which
when
is
I say-
weird.
when I say right here,
There's
I'm
not
gonna
really.
say
It's not really flat anywhere right
Dude,
there.
I walked up later in the week to see where they were camping at because they had left. They were on the edge of a cliff.
I was gonna say like
I
there's-
walked. It
it's
was a
not-
rock ledge right behind them, and they would have been less than 10 feet from the edge of this just sheer drop off. And so more power to them. But anyway, so you can see these lights up there, and when I say up there, 50 yards,
Right.
60 yards. So we weren't like parking in their tent. But so we start getting out. I'm like, you know what? I've waited all year. This is my plan from day one. We're going. Like, I'm sorry if I'm stepping on toes. It's just going to be what it's going to
They're
be.
just camped there. Ain't hunting
They're
right
camped there, exactly. I don't know where they're hunting.
Right.
So we start getting our stuff out, getting, it's still dark at the time, just slowly getting light. And you see lights start coming on up at the campsite, and there's a headlamp like bobbing back and forth. Well, all of a sudden, here comes this headlamp, and just like storming down. And we just keep getting our stuff ready, whatever. I thought they were going to come talk to us, like, hey, like, guys, we're going this way, like, what's up? Nope. They stopped like 30 yards away from us. They just beeline into the woods and just stomping, making as much noise as possible with this freaking flashlight waving and just going. And it looks like they kind of just go up the mountain, the direction we're going to. I'm like, all right, where'd he go? I watch him for a little bit, and all of a sudden the light just turns off. It didn't disappear. It just turned off.
Mm-hmm.
And I told Dad, I was like, he's right here. Like, didn't go far. So he made it look like he was like running up the mountain ahead of us. He went like 30, 40 yards past us, shut the light off, and we just stood there real quiet. We can hear him trying to sneak back to his camp. And then these two four-wheelers that finally caught up and went by. And as they went by, the guy crossed the trail in the taillights so we could see him walk back across. So he tried to make it look like it was occupied, I guess, or whatever you call it. So we went up. I mean, we just kept doing our own thing.
So, okay, bud.
I mean,
Yeah.
which we ran into this guy later on, but so we went up there, got up to the top, did our normal routine we've done in the past, and
It's
we
usually always worked for us.
we had 3 bulls light off.
Yeah.
And at first I was
No shit.
yeah. immediately there's one up top. It was the closest. Then there's one, like when I say up top, I mean elevation wise.
Right.
There's one high, one about in the middle of the timber, and then one right on the rim. And this one was probably, the top was closest. This one was, the one on the bottom was second closest, and the one in the middle was a little farther away. Should have had great wind. I mean, still at that time is 8
Because you were going to be below
So this
all
is
of
daylight by this point?
Yeah, it's probably, we got up there in daylight. We didn't hear anything right away. And probably the first bugle we heard was roughly 7:30. And so we started just kind of slowly moving in the direction where we heard it, hoping to hear it again. And then about 8 o'clock, they did it again. And I bugled back this time, and they lit up. I mean, all three of them just went. And so then we were like, okay, the one on the rim, it's going to drop off. We're not going to be able to get to it. The one in the middle, it's farthest away, and it actually moved farther. We think it was the first one to bugle. But the one up top, it was probably less than 300 yards, I'm guessing, away. Like, that's the one that, one, we should have had the wind. Wind should have still been coming down.
Mm-hmm.
Should have been good there. So, okay, let's go after that one. So we start pushing on it a little bit, and all of a sudden, about 8:30, everything just nothing, just shut up. It's like, man, what happened? Where'd it go? So I checked the wind. Wind is blowing directly in the direction that bull sounded.
That was early.
Yeah, it switched literally.
The weather out there was not
No,
typically what it should be.
no.
Was it warm?
It was
It
like
rained 3 days. We were there.
Oh, yeah, you told me that.
so it didn't get as hot and it didn't get as cold.
Yep.
Kind of a
It's-
more
yeah.
constant temperature.
It stayed between 40 and probably 70
Yeah.
instead of 30 and
80.
90.
Yeah.
So, and so we chased that one for a while. Nothing ever came of it, and that was kind of all of our first day. Second day was eventful. I'll let Russell tell some of it, but
Go ahead.
This is fun, Micah, because I've heard like small amounts
Yeah, a little
of
bits
these
and
stories.
oh, second day, Dad took the day off. His knees were shot. So me, Russell, and Brandon went back up there. We go and we park in the same spot we always do, and
So back to the same.
same exact spot right
Okay.
by the tent.
Yeah. These guys are like.
It's the only. Truthfully, it's the only way I'm aware of to get up to where we're at.
Yeah, because
Is there another
you
four-wheeler or anything?
Russell and I went a different.
we never
way
went
one
that
time.
far yet to see. I assumed.
Yeah.
I've been up several spots.
Yeah,
up
remember that-
there,
remember
and
that
it
time?
is straight up and down.
Yeah.
What, was it me, you, and Brandon that one time we went a different route down? We were worried we were going to fall down, like just roll down.
We tried a different route later in the week, and I thought my father was going to take me out of the wheel.
Yeah,
It was bad.
yeah, going up. You mean?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and so we started to get same stuff. We're probably 30 minutes later than what we were the day before, and it's barely light out enough to see without your light. And we're getting our stuff put together. Now this time there's two vehicles. We brought Russell had a four-wheeler, I had the side-by-side. All of a sudden, coming from the camp, here comes this guy just stomping. I mean, he made literally as much noise as humanly possible. And this time he actually had his bow in his hand and his pack on. And he comes storming up, stomping up kind of towards Russell. And which way you guys going? Not hi, how you doing? Hey, guys. Like, which way you going? So Russell just kind of said, all right, never mind. He just turned around.
Russell didn't answer.
Russell doesn't do good with confrontation.
So I said, well,
No.
It's not.
Russell does fine with
no,
confrontation.
what I'm saying is
it's how he approached it.
yeah.
It's the fuck you.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not dealing
Russell
with this shit.
doesn't do well with assholes.
Right.
And this guy came up with an attitude, and I get, and maybe I'm in the wrong. People can probably tell me if I was an asshole or not. But again, I waited all year to do this where we go for like the last 10, 11 years. I waited all years. I know where I'm going. I'm sorry you camped there. And again, you're not hunting at your camp.
You
Yeah.
spent
I'm
spent
using
money
this
just
to
as
get-
much as they did.
I'm
dude.
using this to get to a bigger area.
Yeah,
It's a
this
pathway.
isn't like this isn't where hunting is happening.
right.
You know, hunting is happening.
He's got to hike half a mile.
Yeah, it's
And
Yeah.
we don't, where he's camped, he can go south. He's got hundreds of acres,
he can
thousands
go-
of acres
he can
south,
go
and he's
west.
got thousands of acres north. So
Yep.
he's
Yeah,
not limited to that spot.
yeah. This is just
He couldn't go east.
the
That
spot
was the
that
cliff.
we know to go up. Yeah,
But he storms up, and I said, "What'd you say?" He goes, "Which way you going?" I said, "Up." I just pointed straight up the mountain. He goes, "Well, yeah. Well, which way?" I'm like, I'm going that way. Like, we were going up. And I don't think he understood that. Because I wasn't about to tell him that, hey, if you actually follow this finger, you can get to the top.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of people, I think, go up there. We never met anybody.
Well, because it ain't. I mean, it's better than other spots on that mountainside, but it still ain't fun.
No.
It's not enjoyable.
It's a half hour, 40-minute hike.
Straight up.
And
and you're still not at the top. Then it's just once
that's just to get to
that's half hour, 45 minutes to get to where
it's huntable.
It's hey, this is doable at this point.
And so anyway, he's like, well, I'm going this way. And then I was like, all right. He goes, well, where are you going to hunt at? Like, where are you hunting at? I'm like, up. Like, I'm going to the top.
It would have been funny if you said the woods.
And he's like, I don't think he he goes, well, I'm going to work this way and work towards the rim. I said, all right, well, I'm going to work that way. I just finally told him, like, we're going
It's
that
a
way.
goddamn steep. Trees don't even grow on it.
No, you're right. There is a face on there that there's nothing. So we never seen that guy again, but he just was a homer. But we get up there, no bugles that day, and we kind of ran the same game plan that whenever Pat shot his bull that we never found last year, of just sitting separated. Honestly, just out of eyesight, we were probably 40, 50, well, we were probably 50, 60 yards apart. And cow calls, few chuckles, just kind of making little elk noises. And the first encounter, I think Brandon had a cow slip down and
Cow and two calves.
Yep, cow and two calves. And they kind of surprised him. He came in quiet, of course, and he seen the cow and the first calf, and he slow played them, let them kind of walk in a little closer, got to a spot, went to pick up his bow. He never seen the second calf. Second calf busted him, and they were gone. So then we moved several hundred yards, tried it again, and I don't even know. Again, we were making elk noises, and then.
So you three stayed together that day. Raj was done.
Yeah.
Raj was at camp.
Yeah.
So I figured.
And I know one showed up, but I don't know exactly where, how, what.
I think the second time we sat, Brandon seen the bull sneaking away. Is that right?
Yeah. The second time. Well, it was the exact same one. It was the same set because I thought I botched it on him, and you said you ended up having a cow.
Yeah. The time he seen the bull sneaking away was the time I seen the cow.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. But so Russell had a cow slip in, a younger one, right? I mean, it was.
Yeah, it was only last year's calf.
And
it came into like 30 yards through the brush.
Because we were in we intentionally set up in the thickest, nastiest part of it.
Yeah.
It turned to go down a ridge. I cow called. It picked up its head and said, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And
She's
gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't want nothing to do with
There
the
was
cow
no
call.
hesitation, was there?
Nope, she's gone.
So
Were you going to shoot her?
Oh, I would have shot her for sure.
But after first day, seeing how many hunters,
It's funny.
It was game on.
It's funny when we first really started archery hunting there. You guys were first. Then we came in after. It was bulls only the first couple days. Then maybe
What are you
with
talking about?
and now it's just first elk I see that's legal is dead.
Pat shot the
I'm not
first-
talking about Pat.
the first thing you seen.
Pat's
First
different.
elk you saw in real life.
But so as me and Russell Brandon doesn't really call, but me and Russell were calling back and forth. Well, he quit calling. I couldn't figure out why. What was going? Well, his last time he called was when that cow took off. But I was actually sitting pretty close to a wallow we had found, and I was still making some noise and different things, and we would time it ever so often. Okay, it's time to move. So I kind of motioned to Brandon hey, I'm going to get up. So I start getting up, packing my stuff, and I turn around, take 2 steps, and he is waving at me chuckle, do something, do something.
Do something with your mouth.
And I about fall in the wallow, we're right next to the mud and shit. So I tried to get my stuff out, but he said he seen a bull right as I started to get up, just slipping probably 70 yards through the timber. Quiet, just kind of moving along. We think that cow might have, when it ran down, it could have rousted him back up or something. But so we seen him kind of moving through. And that was 9:30 probably.
So there were elk there.
They're out there. I'll let Russell tell the rest of it because he's the one that really spotted it.
So we moved to our next spot, walk 200-300 yards.
set up.
try to set up. I think we were figuring on setting up there, maybe just taking a breather.
We were literally looking at Onyx, be like, okay, should we go like here? Like, how should we set this up? There's a ridge here. Like, sitting there in like a little triangle looking at an Onyx.
Right.
And all of a sudden, I see bull elk just storming down. Another elk storming down. Another bull storming down. I think there ended up being 3 bulls, possibly 2 cows with them.
I thought I seen 2 cows, but honestly, everything was happening like quick, fast, and in
They
a hurry.
were running from
They
something
were
else.
running, yeah, dead sprint. And
How close to you guys?
when I first spotted them, they were probably 120,
So
130.
they were a ways away. We had actually gotten to it was a shit ton of deadfall, but it was pretty open, I guess, for the most part.
A lot of shooting obstacles, but you could at least see
Right.
Yeah.
further.
Feel like I know where you might have been. We've been there before.
Close, yep.
Yep.
So we called to him. I think we called to him.
You made a noise to him. I don't know what it was.
Whatever it was, I think we all knocked an arrow.
Hey,
and
you guys.
Oh, yeah, we all started knocking arrows.
Yeah.
And
They stopped somehow at like 75 because I got down to a knee so I could get a shooting lane. Well, there was no shooting lane, so them 2 were still standing with the arrow knocked, so I got my rangefinder out and I was like 75. Thump. Somebody shoots. What the hell?
so I have to tell this because it's again, whether it's the right thing or not, but
Love you, Brandon.
we were standing there and I'm looking over Brandon's shoulder with my rangefinder too because I couldn't shoot past his ear. I didn't want to move. And so I'm trying to range find trees, and Russell yelled out 75, which is the tree straight in front. There's like a 5-yard wide corridor, wide open, 75 yards. They're heading right for it. Russell stopped over there for that split second. Brandon's drawn this whole time, and he's standing there. And all of a sudden, everything starts moving again, and he shoots. But from my angle, there is absolutely nothing in front of him. Like it is like 80 yards of openness, and this arrow is just like flying in the air through the timber. I'm like, the fuck just happened? And hindsight afterwards, after talking to Russell and Brandon from my angle, I couldn't see, but the bull was actually about to step into this opening, and he tried to time it.
Yeah.
Well, there was a cross timber, and the bull had like stopped to turn its rack to go under it. And in that time it stopped. Looking back, he actually had it timed about right if it would have kept moving. But it did not. And so there was no elk in my visible line of sight when this arrow goes flying through the timber.
And didn't he shoot like 45 yards?
yeah.
He shot for 60.
Oh, that's
So
not as bad as I
It
thought.
was short, but and the thing of it is, we were all within arm's length of each other.
Yeah.
But we were all looking at different elk. Like
Oh,
it
yeah.
was,
damn.
100%.
we couldn't see the one I was looking at.
I never seen
was
yeah.
different than what he was looking at. Different
Yeah.
than the one that, even though we were
No,
literally 3 feet apart.
No, that's crazy. I
'Cause
mean, you
when
can
he-
be close to each other and not see.
We were in like this triangle formation, and whenever he stopped him, he made that noise and stopped him. I was like, oh, too soon. Because I was looking down this corridor, and Russ was like, no, it's not. And he was like, I don't know if you drew or not, but like, you could
No.
see that elk. I know you said that it was covered by that one tree branch.
There was a branch about at 60 yards, and then there was another one at like 5 yards.
Yeah.
Like, I would have, if it was wide open, I'd have taken that shot all day
Yeah.
long. But there was not a clear path.
So
That's awesome.
they blew down. I mean,
Hey,
took off after that.
Brandon, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Absolutely.
And you missed that shot. But
Effing send it,
you
bud.
still miss 100% of the shots. You
He
don't
said he didn't hear me say 75, so
I don't know.
we'll give that to
That's
him.
his story. He's sticking to it.
Hey, he attempted. But so that was day
Well,
2.
It was eventful so far, at least.
Yeah,
I mean, you're running into people. Sounds like dickheads. But you're seeing elk.
Spooked elk.
That's
Yeah.
what it's
Not
all-
necessarily huntable elk, but
Right.
you're just.
They were so skittish. Yeah. But so that was day 2. Day 3, we all took the day off because after going up there 2 days in a row, I was beat. They had hiked a shit ton over on the other mountain the day before, so everybody was just kind of tired. We took the day off, made some good food, sat around the fire.
Take the old
bullshitted.
Blackstone.
Was that the day it rained?
Oh, it did. Didn't it hail that day?
Yeah, it hailed.
Yeah, it rained literally about all day long and hailed twice on us that day.
What'd you cook on the Blackstone?
Oh, man, some good shit.
Eggs, bacon, pork.
Pulled pork tacos.
Sounds good.
Which my dad did not understand what pulled pork tacos were. I'm like, Dad, he put the pulled pork in a tortilla, and he put some stuff on top of it. It's now a taco. He's like, I just don't understand. Like, how much do you need?
It's not hamburger.
I'll be goddamn.
It's just a substitute.
I was like,
That's all
well,
it
you
is,
just
Raj.
put meat tortilla, Dad. After that, you can be creative.
What kind of invention is this?
Yeah. This will be the one
It's
episode.
not right. That ain't right, boys. Ain't right.
Oh, Russell, you had some barbecue sauce. What was that stuff?
Blues hog.
Blues.
Oh,
Hog.
that shit's
That's
good.
my
Dude.
That's our go-to.
He had a hot and the regular.
You gotta do that raspberry.
Got to do the
chipotle, bro.
raspberry, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The raspberries.
I didn't know there was options.
Yep.
But so that was
Day 3.
that was day
four.
3. Day 4. Day 4 is
don't
when
remember.
me, Brandon, and Dad went back up once again.
Yeah, you guys went, and I said, fuck it, I'm sleeping in.
And that was the day
Ooh,
I
that's rare.
That surprises me right there.
well, it was partially my fault because that was the day I was telling you guys about before. Alarms went, well, dude, that was the morning, 1:30 in the morning.
May I ask a
four-wheeler went by.
question? May I ask a question? Before you got here, he said that he was up first.
No.
Oh, wait a minute.
And we all know Andrew.
Who set their alarm every day?
Oh, it was his alarm. But who got out of the tent first?
You
No,
lived.
I silenced that
you
bitch
live with
like
the guy.
twice.
Does he wake up well,
He's not a morning person.
Garin?
No.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure I turned the light on.
There's a
So-
reason you built a house in the backyard of your previous employer.
I mean, there's that.
He's still fucking late.
Yeah,
He's still late.
I wasn't the one that set the alarm, but I was the one that got up.
I still don't believe you.
God damn. Anyway, that day I fell asleep sitting straight up and down on the cot. Russell said, "Where are we going?" I said, "I don't know yet." But that morning was the morning. There's like four-wheelers going by at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, ripping through.
Huh.
Like 3 or 4 at a time.
Yeah.
Just ripping it.
It was weird. I don't know what the hell was going on that day, but
Night hunting.
apparently.
Night
So-
bugles.
Me,
Something.
Brandon, and Dad went back up and hunted like a mid-morning deal. Came back down. Russell, we knew you were going, didn't know where yet, but Russell had went and hunted a different place. And then I actually went back out
Where'd you go?
North.
from camp.
Around that knob.
Around.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All the way to the top. Around. Back side.
Which is funny because I found his foot tracks up on top because I ended up going that afternoon just to set.
Uh-huh.
I was like, we go out there and usually we're back at camp right at dark or right before dark. We don't really do a night,
Yeah.
an evening set for the most part. But so I went and set, and I had a 2x2, a 4-point mule deer come by. It worked where I set worked. I set up above these trails. Yeah, it was a mule deer trail apparently. And so then we ended up coming back and camp, and that was about it for that day. And then I think the last day, Brandon and Dad both said screw it on the last day, and me and Russell went up top where you were talking.
5 days? 105 days?
Yeah, just 5.
So me and Russell went up top. It's kind of a later start again, I think, because one, it just takes forever to get up.
Well, but
forever.
but the point is, you go up top, you kind of need the wind to switch if you're going up there.
Well, the thing
there
is, the wind.
zero consistent wind up
Yeah,
there.
it's changes every 5 minutes.
You can't really go up top. You can't really start up top first thing in the morning.
I think
though.
we've seen it
You know
up
what I'm
every
saying?
time we've
Because
been up there, though.
You're gonna.
I think they love it up there because of it.
There's so many finger ridges in there.
Yeah.
That the thermals will suck up one, down another, and just it's back and forth.
Yeah, we found how many beds that one year. Was that the year I made you guys go to the rock cliff?
Yeah,
And
just
you all
to
got
see
pissed
it.
at me.
Just to
Fucking dick.
fucking see
Yeah,
it.
let's walk down here and go see this fucking rock cliff.
It was cool though.
It'd
Fucking
been
do it.
beneficial this year.
Why?
Well, if we go to our story, that so we set. Russell introduced me. I've never had a mountain house.
Did you shit a lot?
They're not
No.
bad.
No.
Not bad at all.
So Russell introduced
just
me to
must be
mountain
me.
house. Made me a beef stroganoff.
That's what I had.
It's a staple.
Yeah,
Yes,
I like
it's
the chicken
pretty-
and rice.
Pretty.
I like
that
that.
what I
The
had a lot?
spaghetti's good,
When
too.
we were in
Chicken
Wyoming.
teriyaki one.
Yeah.
We'll have to take a poll of everyone's favorite mountain houses.
Well, favorite is
Peaks, another good one.
Yeah, I think I had Peaks, and what was the other one?
Mountain House.
And I didn't eat for 2 days.
So, did we ever
They were
figure
that
out
bad.
you had a peak that like expired within the next month?
Yeah.
But the mountain houses are good for like
They're good for 30
Yeah.
years. Peaks are only good for like what, 5?
5, I think.
yeah,
or
it
five.
was something. Yeah,
Some keep in
Does.
mind.
No, the biscuits and gravy's really good.
Oh,
By the way,
I've had that
Sounds
once.
good.
So he introduced you to a mountain house, like
yeah. So
on
we
the
went
mountain.
went upstairs. Me and Russell had a little picnic
Upstairs
upstairs.
to the upper room.
Nah, that's what I'm calling it from now on. Upstairs. It was a P Diddy party. No.
Bring your baby oil, baby.
But so we sat in one spot, ate, and then we moved. I don't know how many. I don't even know how far we moved. Really, not that far. And set up the rest of the afternoon. And we would call every once in a while, just back and forth cow calls, some light bugles, chuckles, whatever. And then at 4 o'clock, almost exactly, one answered, and it wasn't that far away. Like when he answered, he was fairly close.
I would say 150.
Yeah, just out of sight.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kind of slow played a little bit, see if he was coming, and then nothing showed up. So then we got up and went, and the ridge we were on gave us the wind. If we just followed it back where he was, or we thought he was, and where we went to is perfect. He didn't move, I don't think, at first. And so we moved on him, and I bugled again. He responded, and it was one of those things like, shit, we should be able to see him. Like, that was close. So we looked for him, can't see him. Russell had a decoy out at the time, and so we were trying to use the decoy. And he pushed away just a little bit. Well, then we moved. We're like, okay, let's go get him. Like, let's go up. So we pushed to the next ridge. We stopped. We looked. I'd bugle. It would bugle one more ridge away. Shit, okay, now we got to go down and back up. So we go down, sneak back up. Well, my dumbass, apparently when I do this, I can't breathe. Like, I hold my breath when I'm trying to sneak through the woods. So I get to the top of the next one, and Russell's like, bugle again. I'm like, I go, I can't. Shit. We only went like 75 yards, if that. Like,
You're holding your breath the whole time.
I hold my breath. I'm like, I don't know, I can't breathe. But so we just kept doing this cat and mouse thing. Like, we would move, he would move, we would move. And then one time we finally went 2 ridges.
Yeah, let's go 2. We'll be quiet for 2 ridges. We'll see if we can get right on top of them.
Yeah.
That fucker went 3. He did. He just kept going. And then talking about that rock ledge, and all of a sudden, so we chased him probably hour and a half.
Did he go off? Did he go off that? Holy hell!
Yeah, he went down.
All of a sudden, he went from, hey, this bull's 100-ish, 150 yards, and he kept that distance. He kept that 100-yardish distance from us constantly. We might have got within 75. There was one time he kind of growled and chuckled. We thought he had him pissed off enough it was coming, and he moved again. So we pushed, but we thought he was 100, 150, and then about like that, it sounded like he was 800 yards away. He had to have went off that. I mean, it's just a cliff
down here. Let's see if these guys will follow me now. Basically.
Oh yeah,
And then we're good.
I bet you how many times do you think he bugled total from 4 o'clock to 6:30, whatever time it was?
Like 20.
At least, yeah. I'd say 24 times.
That's the most calling they've ever done back.
Oh, he was responding to us, but he just didn't want confrontation.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we probably could have tried some other tactics.
Should have slingshotted him.
Could have tried to slingshot him. We had the decoy, so I mean, if he would have, just got a peek of it, maybe, I don't know.
Did you have a cow?
Yeah.
Nice.
Did you cow call?
What'd you
I love
get?
it. We
Was
tried
it
cow
one of
calling a
them
little bit.
bow things?
No, it's just it's an elk's ass. I don't
Oh,
know.
I've seen that. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Can't remember what brand it is. but
Right.
2D Montana ones.
Probably.
Sounds right.
It's on a
Bandsaw
post.
blade.
Montana.
Kind of folds up together.
Yep.
Yeah. So it ended up, and I swear he came back at the end. When we were walking out of the timber, I almost think he came back up looking for us.
I bet if he would have had enough time in the day to sit there, I think he would have came back to check out what was pushing him around.
Yeah.
But
We
obviously-
were in some nasty stuff by that time. I don't know how far we were from
Yeah,
the
you
four
were.
wheelers. And it's one of
For a
those.
while.
We were ways back in there, and farther than we anticipated. Because for the last hour and a half, 2 hours, we chased this guy, and it's easy to get distance and time away from you. So we wanted to try to be getting out of the dark timber before it
And
got
you were
dark.
you were going down. Or were you?
We were going down, yeah. So we had to go back up.
So you had to go
get out,
back
really.
up to get out.
Yeah.
Because you parked up top?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, where
By
were
the
you?
big rocks? By the big rock that looks out over the valley?
No.
No.
There's
No?
2 years in a row now there's been a camp at that rock.
Really?
So we had to go past that rock to where we went.
Where we walked out?
Walk
or
through that.
Okay.
Walk
There's
through
a
that
valley.
park.
That's
and then
where you were.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
up top. Oh, yeah.
We
So
were
you
up-
had to go.
Yeah.
The Red Hill.
The Red Hill.
Yeah.
So,
Red clay or whatever it is.
and then we ended up basically 90% of the ride back was in the dark on that trail. And I timed it. It was an hour and a half back to camp.
Yeah.
And the trail was rough. We met a local. He said, I won't go up there. He goes, I'm sure there's elk up there. He said, I'll break my razor. He had one of the, was it 900, 800? It was a newer razor,
big
but
ones.
didn't have the clearance that we had. And he goes, I started up there, and I turned around and came back until they fixed that trail, which there was the mini dozer and a hoe there.
I mean, they were working on usually like the main section we're on last year. So
And they just got done with the other way around. So now, but shit, you can't even tell. The way that they fixed last year, completely blown back out again.
yeah.
But he's like, I won't go up there because it'll tear my razor apart. So
Sucks to suck.
the Hondas did just fine. I scraped.
And that
well,
was-
you said you scraped once. I think
I scraped a rock that I could have avoided. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and he's not wrong because my CF Moto is like a Razor, and it's got a little longer wheelbase than the Pioneer does, which makes it sit a little lower. Maybe not sit lower, but its
Clearance. Your
clearance is a little
lower.
different.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like 4 inches difference, ain't it?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would scrape spots that you didn't before.
So mind you, this entire time I'm sending the Garmin message to Pat and Garin. Well, once you turned it on for me, thanks.
My thing's not working. Did you get the monthly service? No, I thought you did.
To be fair, I quit my job one day before I left. I didn't even take the Garmin out of the package until the day we left.
He's like a baby, but I take care of you. Took care of
Appreciate
you.
it. So yeah, so we were starting to hear glimpses like, hey, they're getting to bugling bulls. Like we're getting jealous. Like they're into elk, man. Like, and then yeah,
Nice transition.
do you like that?
That was good.
It's professional.
And then you guys drove home and no problems. Once again.
nope.
Well, I guess that we forgot about the guy up top. We can tell that story. But
Oh, it's just common courtesy, fuckers. So, was that
we're
the
talking
la-
about rude ass people, and then this is part of it.
So, I think it was day 4. We had individually split up. We're all going to meet back at this drop-off point where we can drop down to the four-wheelers. I'm probably a quarter mile from where we're supposed to meet up. Kind of broken timber, so you can see pretty good ways. So I'm just sneaking through there. Not super quiet. Obviously, you can't be super quiet in some of that stuff, but
Right.
I start walking, and I get like 20 yards from this tree, and out pops a dude just walking, knocked arrow,
Fuck.
release on the string. He just takes off walking, just the opposite way, like just gone.
Like he could stop and draw his bow at any time.
Like anytime he's ready to draw,
bro. Ready.
he's walking away from me. Of course, then I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Is there an elk over there, man?
So I
Russell starts following
So I
him.
start walking and just trailing behind him. I'm like, where's the fuck's he going? End up, he takes the lower route. I said, fuck it, I'm going to go up route. My wind's going to blow on you. You ain't going to see shit. So I bomb my way out of there. He didn't look at me, didn't acknowledge that I was there.
At 20 yards, like he knew Russell
He
was
knew
right
I was there. He knocked an arrow for me. It's fine. I don't care. You can knock an arrow if you hear something coming.
Right, you're getting ready.
That's fine.
Sure.
Right.
Just a simple like, oh hey, sorry,
Sorry,
or,
dude.
or anything, nothing. He just was turned around, going the way I was going.
He had a hunting fedora on, so that makes it worse.
Are you serious?
Didn't make
You remember that year me and you were together and that local was above us and we both was that me and you?
No, I don't know who it was, but I remember.
So
the
remember
story.
we knocked arrows and then we saw him, we're like, oh, okay. And so he came down and we're like, yeah, we thought you might have been an elk. We had arrows knocked and everything. He's like, you don't, what did he say? you don't do that unless you verify a target. I'm like,
Yeah,
no freaking shit, dude. We weren't going to shoot you.
drawn on you.
I wasn't drawn on you.
Yeah, that dude was worried about having an arrow knocked. But anyways, just no acknowledgement that I was there, even though he knew I was there.
No common courtesy. Just like, hey, sorry.
It's odd.
I'm going this way. Which way you going?
So he starts sneaking off. I'm like, fuck it, I'm going up high, going around you. You can eat my wind. I don't care. So I start bombing down, and then I get to where I see Brandon first, and then I can see this other guy, same dude, sneaking in between us. Like, fuck, there he is again. So I walk up to Brandon, and he was like, "Did you see that guy?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck that guy."
at about that loud.
And that dude couldn't have been more than 20 yards away from us. So he drops off over the edge, and we can still hear him busting through the brush trying to side hill. So I'm like, we're going to see where Andy's at. So we start walking a little farther, and we get up to Andy. We start talking, and Andy's like, you hear that guy? Yeah, fuck that guy. He says it again. He's like 20 yards away.
You know how we, like, when you first just,
Well, the worst part for this guy, every time he sees you guys, there's another one of you.
Yeah, we're multiplying. We are literally like,
They got me surrounded.
dude, from my perspective, like, I don't see this first part happening. I see Russell and Brandon, right, and they're starting to head my way, and I look over, and here's this guy just like flying towards me, and you know, right where we come up to the flat part, he's walking across that opening,
That steep ass shit.
the steep ass part. He's walking across it, and about the time he gets to me, Brandon and Russell get to me. I'm like, hey, there's I'm whispering like, hey, there's a guy right here. Like, he has to be right below us. And he goes, that guy? Fuck that guy.
The best part is that guy's probably terrified for his
Oh,
life.
God, dude. Yeah.
He's trying to get out of there as fast as he can.
can
And
tell
every
you-
time he comes by Russell, there's another one.
I can tell you he did not come back up on top of that ridge, because I looked down and there was no
That guy
sign
got back
of
to
him.
his four-wheeler that day. He's like, thank you, Jesus. I'm never going elk hunting ever again.
But, yeah.
There's some real assholes out there.
He's having a podcast right now. There's a bunch of dickheads up in Colorado.
I've never been spoken to like that.
That's great.
I did shoot out like day one. I think it was day one. I shot at a grouse. This thing was sitting up on a log at like 35 yards or 37 yards. So I put my 35 right on the top of its back and just let it fly, and I smoked the tree right on top of its back. So
At least it didn't hit a rock. Was that you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
yeah.
You just
The rock,
that was me and Pat.
the rock was the same color.
No one's ever
right-
going to hear
I'm
a
right
word you
next-
say.
Yeah, move your
Sorry,
mic.
I was coughing earlier.
We're walking up this
The rock
hill.
was the same color as the
Yeah,
grouse.
I'm walking up. We're walking up this hill, and I look to the left. I'm like, "Hey, there's a grouse." I didn't have my small games or whatever. Pat did. I'm like, "Hey, there's a grouse. Why don't you take that?" He's like, "All right." He pulls back. Boom! Just right on this rock right next to it. I'm like, "What are you doing, man?" Like,
I was trying to scare it.
yeah. So, but he
got it on the
knocked.
second arrow.
Yeah, he knocked another one, and the bird didn't even move.
Well, hey, it sounded like at least there were elk there, but about like normal, honestly.
Yeah, be courteous. Otherwise, you're going to get an attitude back.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
that's so for me. I could never imagine being in the woods, especially in the middle of nowhere, being 20 yards from another human being and not acknowledging their existence. That's weird. That's odd to me. And that seems like it happened to you guys multiple times where people just walk right by you, and it's just odd to me.
Well, I
That
feel
don't
like
make sense.
etiquette. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about etiquette. Like, hey, wave. I try to make a point. I'll meet you halfway.
Yeah.
And I'll come talk to you and say, hey, like,
I'll usually be like, hey, and then like kind of
right, sorry, man. Like,
wave over to
which
you.
way you plan on going? Like, this is what I was heading. Like, and then adjust. But
Yeah,
these guys,
there was none of that.
no.
They turn and just bomb
Gone.
out.
Just
Don't,
didn't want to talk to you.
no acknowledgement
The
whatsoever.
one local that came and stopped.
I still the guy's like trying to
trying to get out
get
of
away
there.
from you guys, and he's like, another one. Oh my God, they're gonna kill me. And then he gets, there's another one.
evasive maneuvers. They're surrounding me.
I can't get away from him. He's following me.
He had to feel surrounded because he's seen Russell up top. Then he gets to the bottom. He sees
And I was
Brandon.
chasing them the whole goddamn way.
He sees Russell and Brandon. Then he like leaves them and goes farther. And here I am.
That guy wants to fuck me. He keeps saying, fuck that guy.
He doesn't beat any party.
Oh God.
It was a good trip overall, but yeah, our buddy Will killed sometime midweek, and he stopped by a little bit at the camp and visited some.
He just does. He's that guy that you end up loving to hate because.
Yep. We'll have a love hate with you, buddy.
I don't know why you guys have a hard time killing elk. I've only done it 3 times and killed 2.
Right. No big deal. What's the problem?
What's the problem, guys? What issue are you having?
Idiots.
Question is, did he own both of those 4-wheelers?
Oh, I hope not. So Will had
They had 4-wheelers this time.
Will had 3 buddies with him.
Yep.
One was grouse hunting, and 2 of them were fishing, and the other one might have been fishing some too. But they had 2 4-wheelers out there, which I believe Will works for Yamaha, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
They were Yamaha 4-wheelers, and we seen him probably every day at some point going up and down the trail. And I think he stopped. He stopped to talk to you.
One time,
Yeah,
maybe.
I
I
think
think
that-
he was looking for you.
Yeah, because Will knows Russell not really at all.
No,
because the first year
who
you
the
weren't.
fuck are you?
You weren't.
I've never met the guy.
You weren't. Well, yeah, you did.
You did, but
Barely.
The next year, for like 1 second, I'm like, hey, that's Russell, and Russell's like, hi, Russell.
Yeah.
And but the first year he wasn't out there. You were in New Mexico.
The first year I didn't meet him.
Yeah, so he never met him that first year.
Oh, okay.
Remember that?
It would be
Yeah.
the second year
I
that he
got
came
you.
around, and
He came to the.
he was looking for you guys, and I'm like, I don't know where they're at.
Even though they're camped right there. I know what you're talking about.
So anyway, they had 2 4-wheelers.
Yeah. Apparently, one of the guys smoked a tree.
Oh shit!
And I guess he messed it up pretty bad. But I
They had to order parts.
Oh damn!
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That bad, huh?
Yeah.
But he killed a bull.
Well, what happened to the other 4-wheeler? Was it okay?
Yeah, the other boy was fine, but I guess he was like flying down one of the trails and just smoked a tree. So
Hey, you get that sometimes.
messed up a fender and
Shouldn't have been standing there.
Right. I don't know who planted that thing. But no, it was a good trip. I don't know I can't think of any other good stories, but
Okay, well,
We're probably like 2 hours into
I can
it
think of a
already.
good story. A dead elk. So we go from complete and utter failure in Colorado, like we probably expected. All right, there's the Colorado recap. Hope y'all enjoyed it. The guys, saw a lot of stuff. Things happened, but just kind of par for the course, honestly, in Colorado for us. And that's the Colorado recap. Tune in next week for the remainder. New Mexico, where Pat and Garin get into what happened in New Mexico for themselves. And enjoy that show. Thanks for listening, guys.